This is Shvetal Desai, co-founder at Nividous, and my topic today that I'll be covering is moving beyond automation silos with hyperautomation. Thank you for joining us today. And I'll be walking you through why automation is critical and moving into hyperautomation, and why that is important in today's world and the way we are evolving in terms of automation, why it is leading into hyperautomation. Okay. So first question is, why is automation critical today? Now, businesses are affected by many factors, such as business disruption, lack of innovation, employee morale may not always be high because they're doing repetitive tasks, customer expectations are always changing, regulatory compliance, so you're always playing catch up with that. And it's always a problem because regulations change all the time. Plus, inconsistent business growth adds another problem in this. For example, COVID recently has led to inconsistent business growth during certain periods of time, early part of this year. And of course, competitive pressure. So, most folks have adopted RPA and have started their journey with automation with RPA, but is RPA really enough? We believe that you need to adopt a holistic automation approach, which is beyond RPA, and that necessarily means augmenting your RPA automation with AI, which involves human judgment, and then adding to it BPM, because even with RPA and AI, you will be siloed in your automation, but BPM brings the truly end-to-end process automation, which includes humans, RPA and AI working together. So your entire end-to-end business process automation can be achieved, and the entire scale is possible through augmenting with BPM. So what is hyperautomation, essentially? If I were to summarize, I would say it's an approach that combines RPA, AI, and BPM together into one platform. To quote Gartner directly, it is hyperautomation is, it deals with the application of advanced technologies, including artificial intelligence and machine learning, to increasingly automate processes and augment humans in their work. This is not just Gartner, but even Forrester, which is another important analyst, as well as HFS Research. Both of them also talk about the same. Forrester calls it digital process automation, and HFS Research calls it intelligent process automation. All of them refer to the same thing of combining all of these three into one. Hyperautomation, the term sounds really nice, but what does it really mean? I can explain that maybe using a use case. Let's take loan origination, for example. Here, the loan origination starts with application, someone applying for a loan, and then it goes to data entry where you would enter that loan into internal systems. You will go then through an appraisal step where you will do an appraisal on the loan, and then an underwriting stage, then an account creation once the loan is approved, and then disbursement of that loan. Now, all of these steps involve multiple different things at various points, some of which are manual, some of them are siloed because there are multiple different systems working together, paper-based, inefficient, you don't achieve your SLAs, customers are not satisfied. There are plenty of problems that people may encounter with a process such as this. So what do we do? How can we solve that problem using automation? Many companies have realized today and have already started on their RPA journey. RPA is not new for most folks. And RPA gives you tactical but immediate results. So it's easy to get started with RPA. And in this case, for our current example, what you would do is maybe use RPA bots to retrieve the application in the application stage. Then in the data entry stage, use the bots to enter these directly into internal systems. Then do an OCR appraisal report extraction in the appraisal stage, again using a bot, and then account creation in legacy systems. And finally, so account creation in legacy systems would be the fourth step in this process. However, if I want to take this a little further, can I enhance my automation further? Well, yes, you can. That's where I would enhance it with AI automation. So AI, in our case, we call it smart bots, will augment it by adding human judgment to this process. Where can I do it? Well, categorizing emails using human judgment, which involves natural language processing of unstructured data in emails, can be done by a bot. And then improve your OCR extraction using computer vision, which is unstructured document extraction. For example, you may have documents which vary in their formats. You cannot create one single template for every document. Any document which is a variation of your original document should also be extracted from. So that's why you use machine learning again. And then you can use, in the underwriting stage, you can use predictive fraud analysis, where you can predict the propensity of a fraud on your loan using, again, AI approach. How about taking it further? Can we then move to end-to-end process automation? What does that mean? Now you add humans in the picture. Your end-to-end process involves not only siloed automation using RPA, but there are humans at various stages in your process. So let's convert that earlier process into a BPM workflow. And now let's talk about what is being used at each stage. So retrieve application involves bot along with human judgment, like we mentioned earlier. Then the data entry involves a bot doing this entry directly internally into internal systems. Then the next stage would be retrieving data from appraisal, which involves all three parts, which is bot with human, with the AI, as well as the human. So a maker-checker concept. So bot with AI augmented using computer vision will extract from a document, and the human will review it. And then predictive fraud analysis would be the next stage, where AI would be used for predicting the propensity of fraud. Then it would go to a manual underwriting stage step, where somebody would review this and decide whether, and do the underwriting at this point. Then it would move into account creation using a bot, and then finally into disbursement, which involves humans that would do the disbursement. So let's take this a little further. This is my first cut of my process, but I will always constantly keep improving my process. Maybe I can look at the manual underwriting piece and see, hey, can I do something further over here? Can I improve this? Well, sure I can. Maybe I can add an auto underwriting step in parallel. So certain amount of loans which are below a certain stipulated amount using business rules can go through auto underwriting, straight through processing, and only others will go into manual underwriting. So I can improve and expand this further and continuously improve my process in BPM. So the possibilities are limitless. When you're doing end-to-end process automation in your enterprise, you have so many different ideas or processes that you can automate, cutting across all the way from finance and accounting, human resources, sales and marketing, compliance, customer service, etc. I'm not going to go into all of these in detail. If you're interested, we can certainly share these with you. But again, bottom line is process automation are limitless. You can keep building processes in your environment. Another reason to keep improving your processes is that when you are automating, essentially you're automating your business, right? You're executing better than your competitor because, and you're in business because you execute better than your competitor rather, and that execution is in your process. And the more you automate and continuously improve it, the more you will beat your competition. This brings me to why Nividous? What is different in our approach? Well, as a company, Nividous has always been in process automation. So the founders of Nividous have been in process automation for more than 23 years, starting from BPM. And then through Nividous, we have added RPA and artificial intelligence along our journey. So it's a full three-pronged attack for automating your processes using all the three components I talked about earlier. One unique differentiator for us as a company and our product is that our product has won multiple industry awards. It's not, RPA typically you talk about in automation space as something that will do lift and shift operations, but this is different, where we have actually been able to win awards for our implementations. To name a few case studies, quickly talk about 2 or 3 huge wins that our clients have enjoyed. Acuity Eye Care Group is a US-based eye care company which is run by acquisition. More than 150 stores they've acquired over a very short period of time. We are doing their entire revenue cycle management on our Hyperautomation platform, right from patient scheduling, where bots are used to schedule the patient to the nearest location, then taking their insurance information and doing an eligibility check into third-party carriers. And so when the patient comes in, the bots have already found the information for eligibility. So there's an opportunity to cross-sell and upsell. So customer doesn't settle for $50 in an iframe if they're covered for $250, which most of the times they don't know. From that journey, they move on, the bots, in fact, the entire hyperautomation platform then moves into claims filing, claims management, payment reconciliations, and then moving into inventory management and store onboarding. So every new store requires onboarding, also migration. So the entire cycle from the start to the finish entirely runs on and what they call this as the revenue cycle management, entirely runs on our platform. In fact, this was so widely recognized that the CIO has won CIO 100 Award of the Year for this twice in a row. Another very interesting use case is India First Life Insurance, where there was a requirement to provide insurance against group credit loans. This wasn't a viable business earlier because it used to take more than 45 minutes to turn around the time for generating a quote. These are very complex quotes. So what ended up happening is they threw it across the fence to us, and we've got that 45 minutes down to 4 seconds, and now we are able to generate quotes on the fly. So right at the time when loans are being sanctioned at the business partner or the so the banking institution or the business partner's websites, at that time, immediately they can request our bot for a quote, and it is in 4 seconds that they're getting this. So this becomes a viable business where they're instantly able to insure their loans. This is again very, very innovative and created a new business for them where it didn't exist earlier. Edelweiss is another such very interesting use case, Edelweiss Wealth Management, and this has made its way into the Forrester research paper for its innovative use of RPA automation. This is the research paper in 2019, released last year. What does a platform comprise of? Well, there's a studio for drag and drop visual, building your process. Then the control center where you would deploy, manage, monitor, and manage it. And then bots, which are attended and unattended, as well as smart bots, which comprise of your intelligent, machine learning components. Add to that human involvement using full BPMN compliant workflows. You have a complete hyper-automation platform that allows you to scale end to end. We are so unique in our platform approach and our implementation approach that we guarantee a rollout of trained bots in 3 to 4 weeks. And we offer this as a fixed price with no obligation to purchase, because we are confident that once the customer sees this in production, they will love it, they will want it. So there is no obligation to buy, and we are able to do this quickly because we are able to build quickly on our platform. So we call this our quick start offering. This leads me to the actual demo that I would like to show you today. So we walked through our entire loan origination case study. Let me now take this a little further, and I will actually show you a demo, a real life execution of exactly what I talked about earlier. Okay. So this is the complete hyper-automation platform demo. It starts with, and the loan origination process will involve, a bot looking for emails every day. There'll be various types of emails in your inbox. Some of them may be for loans, some of them for appraisals, some of them for refund requests, or whatever else. So the bot is actually reading the entire, using natural language processing, reading the entire content and body of the email, categorizing it, looking for certain emails like loan origination, downloading the loan form as it is doing right now, opening it. It is running through because this is a bot doing this at breakneck speed right now. Now, it is using computer vision to identify different areas of the document which are of interest, and using anchor-based technology, looking for certain fields like email address or occupation, and then finding the relative field next to it, which is highlighted in red, and only extracting that. This ensures that even if the document changes later on, it is resilient to those changes because it looks at things intelligently in your document using computer vision and machine learning. Now I'm going to log in to our system and the bot has actually created a new process, a BPM process, and I'm going to log in as a manager, and I'm going to see what this process is. I will see a dashboard which is specific to my process, and I will now go to the loan underwriting process as a manager. I'm able to see the audit history for this particular process. What you see over here is the loan application data entry is highlighted, which is the first task in this process. And from here, once this task completes, it will move on to the next task, which is a robotic legacy update using a bot. So a bot will take the information after the human completes the current task, which is the human is a checker for what the bot has extracted information. A human will now review it. And then a bot will continue. As soon as the task is completed, a bot will then update all that information into the internal loan origination system, after which it will then move on to verifying the employment service request using basically APIs, or do credit report checks, and then perform KYC checks in parallel. And after that, it will move on later on to other tasks in the process, which are going to be, appraisal, review, and relative. Sorry, the demo moved ahead, and then let me bring it back to where we were. So essentially, the other task will be appraisal tasks, where again, things will be reviewed, and then later on underwriting tasks. So let's now move back to the actual portal, where we will now log in as a human who would be the first person to complete this task. Jacob Alex is the reviewer for the document extraction that we saw earlier. And I will now log in. I'll see my task. In my task, all the data is already extracted by the bot. I will review, make changes if required. I can also see the process flow, and I can see where I'm in the process. And I can see the extracted information right here with context, so that I know exactly. I can click on the document, and I can see the information on the right. I can also see the confidence score of all the fields extracted. On the side, I can reassign this task to others, and I'll go ahead and just do that. I'll complete the task for now. And as soon as I did it, a bot immediately took over and was triggered to enter all this data now into an internal loan origination system. So as soon as that is done, the bot will now take the same data and enter it into a legacy system for loan origination. This is mimicking what a real-world enterprise system end-to-end would do. It would have multiple different interfaces, some web-based, some legacy systems, where you have to enter the same data. And as soon as this is done, the task will move ahead and highlight the next task. What you saw earlier is the process moving ahead now. So now the bot is going to wake up and look for new appraisal reports in your email. So this is a loan for a home. So it is looking for appraisal, the agent to have sent across an appraisal document, which was extracted by the bot. And now, as a human, I will review this. I can also bypass this step, maker checker step, depending on the confidence score of extraction. But here we are showing you how a human can also review and correct if necessary. You will also see details around, table within tables, or even checkboxes extraction. So it's a very high level of accuracy in our extraction, and also very complex in terms of the documents it handles. Once the task is completed, again, it moves ahead to the next task, which would be an underwriter task. So now I'm logging in as an underwriter, and I'm seeing the process has moved significantly ahead to the underwriter stage now. So there is visibility end to end. And I see here the fraud propensity and the confidence score available for me to review, and then I would complete the task as a human. And this fraud propensity would have allowed me to actually accept or reject based on augmenting the human's decision by using AI. So the AI was highlighting whether the loan should be approved or rejected. So essentially, this brings me to the end-to-end of our demo. What I'd like to summarize here is what we covered was an end-to-end process automation exercise, which involved a bot to trigger something from emails, then a human reviewing information, then again moving to bot, where bot would enter the data into internal system, then APIs would be called to do direct checks for credit verification and other things, and then it would move on to again appraisal, where a bot would wake up and look for new emails for the appraisal for this home, and then it would move on to other steps along the way, eventually coming to an underwriter decision, where again AI would be augmenting a human decision, And when the human logs in to complete the task, they would see information that would help them complete this using AI. Now, this process can be continuously improved by adding new tasks along the way, and that's where BPM gives you visibility, continuous improvement, and ability to monitor and manage your SLAs in your enterprise. Thank you very much for being with us today, and I hope you enjoy the session.